Assalamualaikum and good evening, Sir Alias. Okay, we are from DEKA S1. Our group member is Muhammad Eilman bin Mokhzamany, Farhan Irsyad bin Zaidi, Ahmad Arif bin Rusli, and Ammar Haziq bin Sanusi. Okay, today we will talk about our title that we had choose is guidelines for manual handlings.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad and I will talk about introduction. So lifting, lowering, pushing, hugging, carrying are example of manual handling operation. So most of the 40% of these activities in Malaysia can causes musculoskeletal disease or as known as MSD. As reported by Doctor from 2009 to 2014, the number of MSD cases linked to manual handling activities are increased. This contributes to the increase of total compensative cost to the employee. Department of Occupational Safety and Health, or as known as DOSH, the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, or as known as DOSH, has developed guidelines to help people detect manual handling activities and adopt an appropriate risk reduction strategy. The guidelines offer basic recommendations to employees and workers on identifying, assessing, and controlling ergonomic risk practice connected with manual handling tasks in order to decrease the risk of accidents and disease caused by manual handling. So, the purpose of this guideline is to encourage comprehensive and realistic preventative methods in the workplace that enhance the working environment. The guideline offers detailed information on the evaluation and control of manual handling in the workplace in accordance with applicable legislation in order to ensure as far as possible the safety, health, and welfare of all workers at work. This guideline applies to all manual handling activities in the workplace under Schedule 1, Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 or OSHA 1994. And the last one is Public Service and Sanitary Authorities. So this all these workplace using guideline.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farhan Irsyad bin Zaidi. Okay. Now I will explain you about ergonomics and manual handling. Definition of ergonomics is the study of people's efficiency in their working environment. So we want to know about the objective of ergonomics. Okay. Every industry must implement ergonomics principles at their workplace with organization, jobs, products, tasks, and environment. By applying these principles, industries may obtain an effective match between the employee and work system in order to optimize by this feature. First, efficiency. By reduce the motion needed to complete the task and reduce the cycle time, will ultimately increasing work productivity. Second, quality. Ergonomics minimize the mental fatigue of the employee, reducing chance of human error, tooth lapse, or misjudgment. Okay. Third, safety. Human error may cause serious safety violation incidents. So we must be take care for the employee safety. Okay. Fourth is health. Overexertion may cause physical fatigue that can be causes of chronic ergonomics related symptoms. And lastly, of ergonomic objective of ergonomic, work comfort. Okay, work comfort can enhance the employee's comfort, allowing the employee to work at longer duration. That is all for objective of ergonomic. Okay, to achieve ergonomics objective, we need to be prepared to face several risk factors in manual handling. Now, I will tell you some of the risk factor in manual handling. Some of them are awkward posture. Awkward posture is refer to position of the body, limbs, joints, back that deviate significantly from the neutral position while job tasks are being performed. Repeatedly performing tasks in such position, pose positions increase stress on the joints or spinal disc. It may cause harm in your work. Okay, next, repetitive motion. Repetitive motion is when you do the high task with repetition. Okay, when combined with other risk factors such as awkward posture, it can contribute to the formation of work-related MSDs. A job is considered highly repetitive if the cycle time is 30 seconds or less. Okay. Other than that, the risk factor of in manual handling is static and sustained posture. This means that when you're working, you involve little or no movement. Okay. Even neutral postures can result in discomfort and it can interfere with work. Besides that, the other risk factor in manual handling are vibration. When you work that including vibration in your to a specific body part, it can decrease tactile sensitivity and result in unnecessary increase in muscle contraction, which may lead to fatigue or injury of that part. Vibration from machine and hand tools may damage the nerves and blood vessel of the hand and arms. Okay, lastly, for our risk factor in manual handling, extreme temperature. Okay, extreme temperature is exposure to hot environment. It may lead to high body temperature because our body cannot transfer heat effectively. Excessive heat can cause heat stroke, a condition that can be life-threatening, or it may result in irreversible damage. Okay. Currently, many employees keep complaining about their back injury. So, I will talk about the characteristic of these main causes, which is manual handling. Manual handling identified as one of the main cause of back injury. Manual handling can be defined as any activity requiring the use of force exerted by a person. In a simple way, it can be described as moving anything by using human energy. Indeed, every employee must be familiar with this work, but there are ways to reduce the impact so the injury does not last long. Okay, first, lifting and lowering. Lifting practice are commonly encountered in industries, but the combination of high load, poor body movement, and frequency of doing the same task may cause a high internal load on the structure of human body and increase the risk of injury and pain. Next, pushing and pulling tasks. This task is used by the employee to avoid manual lifting and carrying in a wide range of activities using trolley, but they also contribute to the cause of many injuries, especially in overexertion injuries. Okay, third is carrying task. Carrying task. Many factors need to be considered, such as the load weight, carrying distance, postural constraint, grip on the load, floor surface, hand distance from lower back, environment factor, and other individual risk factor. This factor must to be considered for us before carrying task, or we can contribute some injury for our or pain for long period of time. Okay, and lastly, holding and restraining task. Okay, this task is where someone needs to hold and restrain the objects in a certain amount of time while maintaining the same posture. Holding a relatively high load for an extended period or involving other factors such as vibration may give adverse impact on employees. Okay, now I will talk about work-related injuries due to manual handling. Okay, there are two types of these injuries, which is acute injuries, and chronic injuries. Acute injuries may happen immediately upon incident or in a relatively short time. These injuries may happen during manual handling due to slip, trip, and fall while carrying loads. Okay, next are chronic injuries. These chronic injuries happen after prolonged exposure to the hazard. In this case, improper manual handling activities is provided. Okay, if you doesn't take the safety quality seriously in your workplace, it may cause chronic injuries, which is affect you for a long time. Okay, these are the example of chronic injuries. Okay, first, spine disorder. Can happen due to increased pressure onto the vertebral column during repetitive load handling. Okay. Next is a chronic muscle strain and ligament sprain. This injury is a strain to a muscle in which the muscle fiber and its connective tendons tear as a result of overstretching. Okay. Lastly is nerve disorder. Your nerves at hand, it will be pinched or compressed. It may happen when too much pressure is applied to a nerve by surrounding muscle and tissues. This pressure disrupts the nerve's function, causing pain and tingling.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ammar Haziq bin Sanusi. Now I would like to talk about the role and responsibility. So role and responsibility is depend to employer and employee. So employer and employee and personality need to fulfill specific safety, health and welfare requirement under the OSHA 1994. So employer are responsible for the protections well and employee. So the first point is to he need to guarantee that the equipment and substances are used, handled and carried in a safe and dangerous situations. Next, he needs to ensure that the equipment and product used are safe and handled in a safe and a risk-free manner. For the next point is offer information, instructions, training and monitoring to guarantee the safety and well-being of employee. For the last point is he need to keep the workplace safe by ensure that they are not difficult to establish and exist, as well as so for employee must follow the following rule regarding safety, health and welfare. So the first point the employee needs to do is take a reasonable step to prevent about their own and other safety and health. So the next point is the worker and employees need to ensure that the required effects of safety and health is met. So the next is the OSH commit or supervisor. The employer with 4 or more workers are required under the Section 30 of OSHA 1994 to form a safety and health commit at their workplace or as recommended by the Director Generals of DOSH. The occupational safety and health commit at the work has following responsibility. So first thing first is help in development of safety and health rules and regulations, as well as a safe work system. So the next is a measure the performance or workplace safety and health system. The third one is conduct the studies to identify the trends in accidents, near miss, accidents, dangerous situations, substantial poisoning, or working related disease. So the last responsibility is the analyze the workshop safety guideline and give a suggestion to the employer for the any adjustment. So for the last is the following in the rules and responsibility of employer, safety and health commits, and workers in the implements of ergonomics plans at work. So for the employer is hazard prevention and control. Next is medical management, and the third is the training calculations of resources such as financials, human resources, and time. So for the commit on safety and health as well as supervisor, the first one is to create the systems. The second, educate the staff on ergonomics and occupational safety and health. And the third, at the work first line enforcers. So for the employee, any ergonomics issue or hazard working conditions produced should be reported. So the next is the signs and symptoms of ergonomics related injured and illness should be reported as soon as possible.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Arif, and now I will explain about 1.0 manual handling risk identification and assessment. Firstly, we have hazard identification. For the hazard identification, we have observation or work to survey. The observation focus on the reason of ergonomics. Next is interview. We gather response from the employee. We have two types of interview: informal interview and virtual interview. And the next is document. We review the existing document to find that accident, deadline, and so on. And the second one is musculoskeletal pain or discomfort survey. We question survey for manual handling tasks, specifically in the form of electronic form using email and software or paper and pencil form. And number 3 is risk assessment of manual handling tasks. It recommended registration method based on Health and Safety Executive United Kingdom SHE UK, Manual Handling Operation Regulation 1992. And this is initial manual handling risk assessment. First is lifting and lowering. By refer the picture in the right, it divides by two categories for men and women. And it has four different levels, and from the top we have shoulder head, elbow head, knuckle head, and mid lower leg. And for the different level we have each level we have a different weight. And the next one is repetitive lifting and lowering. By refer the table, if employer repeat operation 1 or 2 per minute, the weight limit should be reduced by 30%. If 5 to 8 times per minute, the weight limit should be reduced by 50%, and more than 12 times per minute, the weight limit must be reduced by 80%. For example, if someone is carrying an object around 25 kilograms, and the task he do is around 12 per minute, then the weight must be reduced by 30%. Or so the from 25 kilogram will be reduced around 18 kilogram. And next is lifting and lowering with body posture. If employer to body from forward facing to the side around 45 degree, the weight limit should be reduced by 10%. And for 90 degree, it will reduce around 20%. And then for the pushing and pulling, the task must be considered if force is applied with the hand, then between knuckle and shoulder blade. Distance for pushing and pulling is less than 20 meter. Load is being support on wheel, and lastly pulling or pushing is using a well-maintained handling aid that is and the wheels are properly aligned in the condition. And number 5 is handling in seat position. Adentera is used if the load is within the recommended weight limit for male and female, and the load when the bottom. And this is a picture for the handling seat position. Men we the limit is 5 kg, and for the women we have the limit around 3 kg. And lastly is carrying task. This is the several parts factor. Firstly we have low surface, like as a weight surface. And number 2 is environment factor, such as the extreme temperature. Number 3 carry distance. The distance is must be around 2 to 10 meters. And number 4 is obstacle. Okay, the next is 6.0 manual handling risk management. It provides general principle in controlling manual handling risk related hazards. Firstly, we have economic management program. This program is a structural program that established to manage economic issues. The structural program has 3 elements. Firstly, is leadership element such as strong democratic management commitment, brighten economic policies, guideline and procedure, high standard of performance, promote the reporting of system. And second is organization element, supportive engineering or safety personnel, economy as a line responsible, integrate organization for economy. And lastly, operational element, economic risk identification and assessment, hazard prevention and control, medical management, training and education, and regular program review and evaluation. Number 2 is engineer. It is a common method to reduce or eliminate wood. First, we have modifying tool, determined by a certain parameters such as weight, shape, length, and handling. Changing the pistol grip to linear grip can improve the handle shape, extending the hose, wire, nozzle, or handle to increase their length and improve the handle movement. Next is redesign the wood pressure. Example, turntable for multi-direction process, ball bearing or flow thread for reducing operation cost. Net power equipment can raise, lower, and move heavy object in workplace. So it also can reduce your time. Okay, last is applying automation. Automation is the application of making the process, apparatus, and system by mechanical or electrical device so that the task can be eliminated or are less repetitive. Number 3 is administrative factors. It's a change in work procedure such as written policy, rule, and schedule. It includes work practice, training, education, employee selection, and job assessment. For the selection, the manager will screen the employer with a certain condition such as suffering from previous muscular problem, low fitness individual, current health problem, undergo certain medical treatment. And continue the training exercise, job redesign, job rotation, and job investment, and consider the work as retire. And that is provide enough fire facilities such as toilet and hand soap and towel or hand dryer, drinking water, office to store clothing, for changing, specifically for proper rest and then early. Work as redesign, maintenance and updating program, and lastly, the heating. And for number 4 or the last one, personal productivity. It is when performing a manual handling task. Number first is general physical for PT. The clothing and equipment should be set design and constructed. It must proper fit, protect it against extreme heat and cold, ergonomic special consideration, reducing consideration and training. Next is protective glove. Mechanical protection, cold protection, apply to any glove that protect the hand using convective and contact cool down to negative 50 Celsius. Head protection. Next is elbow pad. The pad relieve contact press pain and discomfort while performing the level and bigger. Knee pad. Knee pad are an essential part of an employer's gear and offer a level of protection from sharp impact. And last one is back support, back or swing. Back support is not recommended to be used by the employer unless they get advised and they supervised by the treating or doctor. Okay, I think that's all for first. Thank you.